Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, fellow empath seers and psychonauts, old souls, all encompassing. Come on in, cozy up. It's chilly here in Canada, so I've got my blanket sweater thingy. It's fantastic. It is what it is. I love it. So you're welcome to join me in this wonderfulness. We're going to utilize the scrolls, add on tarot and oracle. And as well, we have the ghost tube here kicking for any audio additions that may inspire or irritate. You know the drill. Receive or release freely, of course. As always, thank you for joining me, for holding space for me to share my insights, and allowing me to be a guest in the aura of all. Get a little vibe. Yeah, okay. A little vibe of what's going on for the old souls. And let's see what the aura of all is, okay? If you'd like to join me, you're welcome to fast forward through, closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. I'm rubbing my eyes. Okay, so the physical sight and the third eye medicine wheel, there's something going on in there.
When?
I think it's been happening for a little bit of time. Maybe it's something that you've been noticing. Because there's beings up here above the rubbing of the eyes, and they're kind of opening. Like I'm seeing it like a gate, but it looks like a gate that is intricate. So it has like a design, like it's very bougie and it's wonderful. Almost like maybe it's a wrought iron gate or wood, whatever element you would like to sense it in is the element that it's primarily created with. If you want to envision that, but it feels ornate. So maybe it's your name or it's a sign, something along that lines. But I'm seeing it. It's like almost like a fancy spider web. I'm walking in a spider web. So leave a message and I'll call you back. Okay. So this is like maybe like opening and closing from the messages of the third eye realm, because something's heightening. Because I'm also seeing what looks like a shawl or something being woven with mosquito-like precision. So it's like a needle point. There's something being created in needle point. And it's been growing and growing. I'm seeing it like a doily because I'm an inner child and an old lady all at the same time. So there's something about that. There's also like there's a samurai. I don't know if it's actually samurai, but I see them like with swordy things at the back, and then they can pull them out. There's something very protective going on. I might even be I'm going to use the word combative because it's like okay. So you might be receiving more headaches or just tension. Tension is more of the word, tension. And I feel as though I want to release. But it's not in this letting go. It's the latch. Like if a gate had a latch, or maybe yours is fancy and mechanical, whatever it is, that's the latch. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like I've either gotten it, like there's many bolt systems, many latches, or I need to add a few more for a boundary. And for others, I'm not opening it up enough, trusting it, and just kind of wandering, psychonaut style, wandering when I'm in a safe place, when I'm feeling grounded, when I'm feeling, thinking of a loved one that's passed, or a space, or manifesting, whatever it is you might be working on. If you are sensing some sort of frustration, I'm seeing setting in some sort of tone, possibly literally with a tone, a bell, a chime, a tuning fork, whatever the case may be. I'm also hearing knock 3 times, and actively wander in, see your gate, this very wonderful personalized gate, unlatch, and just kind of explore. trusting whoever or whatever. Yeah, there it is. My goodness, I wasn't even looking. Like, that's like the weaving, like the needle point, and these like mosquito-like creatures, because it's definitely intuitive oriented. And I'm not trying to feel or sound like all woo-woo about it. It's literally a gateway. It's a gateway.
Day.
But there's a gate in the. I feel like I really want to express how wonderful it's all personalized. And now I'm seeing, I don't know if it's a shepherd or a farmer, some sort of presence. It's not this person or this energy. This feels like somebody who mans. It's like seeing, if it was a farmer or shepherd and they open up the gate and all the animals come in, or all the animals come out. And I feel like the animals represent possibly like information or a flood of information. But there is like it almost feels like when you open or close it, they're all at once. But then once it's open and then I can see over the field, it's more dispersed, so I can decide what I'm going to walk towards, what I'm going to tune into. Does that make sense? I have a feeling there might be a lot of old souls, young souls alike, but nonetheless, that are... Okay, so it's as though saying I'm an empath as maybe an identity or a channel or a container to feel well with those senses, extrasensory perceptions. But I'm actually hearing, I speak empathy, I speak empathically, less identifying with it. So it's not this all-encompassing
Who are they?
Energy. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like turning on, being able to speak to animals with a certain tone, mannerisms, speaking to a partner, speaking to a boss, speaking to the person at the store, mannerisms, babies, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, there's tonal differences. So it's something about like leaning into that language without identifying it as, I speak English, I am English. I hope I'm not butchering the way this is coming through, because it's unlatching something even within me here and now. And it's like I'm realizing. Okay, and when the shepherd has
Why am I here?
Has one, I don't know. Why are you here? Is it a staff? There's actually two. But it's like it's unseen because they're overlaid. And I can set this communication rods of sorts wherever I'm going, so I can always like be rooted, no matter how far from the gate I get. Does that make sense? I don't know. No, it does make sense. I'm just trying to find a different way to say it. It's like, which direction am I going to go in when I've wandered out into this into this field, third eye field, and I'm listening to these languages, and I'm noticing what I might be hearing, what I might be sensing, what different colors are coming through, and I'm releasing the identity of it, which actually gives me more room to explore it. So it really comes into now like how I'm seeing from like the empath part of it, not being an empath, but speaking empath. It's like that skill set that may have been learned perhaps through trauma or perhaps through oversensitivity. And I say over only because it's like a hypersensitivity, but now it's no longer based from that. It is a skill set I can turn on and off like a language. I'm bilingual, trilingual, third eye lingual. Okay. And then I wander into like the seeker part of it, the seeker or the seer, because the seer is seeing where it's going to seek and seeking where it wishes to see. Does this make sense? I've never been here before, but I'm appreciating this very much so. And then once I decide, the journey is the psychonaut space of truly just experiencing existence with having controls, security, and almost as if like a security blanket of sorts. Let's add on some tarot and oracle. Oh my goodness. Good morning, old souls. If I didn't say so already, please do like, share, and subscribe. And thank you if I already have. And for those who support with that thumbs up, comment, or donate, you truly warm my haunted heart, and I am forever grateful. Oh, forever grateful. Okay. I'm going to just start on here by adding on to the aura scroll. See, clarity. Sorry, it's very early here in the morning, so hopefully you can see that. There's clarity in the aura of the third eye realm, medicine wheel, vortexy, and like needlework. I said that, right? Yep. Maybe clear quartz might even be helpful. Dimensional, I swear, I'm sorry about the lighting, but dimensional gateway. Like we've literally been talking about this. It's like you got to rub your eyes or your ethereal eyes. There's a guide for some. Sorry, I'm choking. Does anyone else get that? Wearing like hoodies? Horrible feeling. I feel as there's the shepherd. Thank you. There is a being in there. There's the shepherd. You meet this guide. Okay. Thank you. The double staff shepherd embraces you. There's a vulnerability and sees you very, very clearly. But you might also see it as an animal. I want to flip this. Thank you. You might even see them as a spirit animal, if that's what serves. I'm seeing something, and I don't know what it is. They're parrots. Okay, parrots. Thank you. The shepherd will talk. Whatever symbol the shepherd comes in form. I'll take one more for the aura scroll for the old souls. Come on. Creation, expansion in your life. This is what like one walks into. The psychonaut space, the seer and the seeker, the sensitivity, the ESP, the empath, seer, psychonaut, extrasensory perception. It's not even extra. It's like the empath thing that's coming through, and I'm really appreciating this because being more empathically driven, which is very much so that, you know, curse or a blessing, and I can't speak for other gifts, but I'm sure there's always a totality of it, but I personally can resonate in there. There's something about that. There's something about it's the extra. I'm not trying to take away from it, but it's not extra. It's a language, it's a skill, it's like numerology or learning how to make really good sandwiches and put things together, to being a chef, to, you know, cooking or being an organizational person. There's a skill that's learned and fine-tuned over time of experiencing it. And once you're done the task, you've made the sandwich, let's say, you put it together and you either enjoy it or you give it to somebody else, maybe in a sharing if you're a fellow psychic, psychology, whatever the case may be. And it's like that gate, and you can close it. The empathy doesn't have to be enveloping. I'm seeing I don't know
It's
if it's
bright.
a gnome or a creature, but they're kind of sitting in contemplation, like the thinker pose, but I'm seeing it in this fun, like, gnome. It's almost like on a different kingdom, that's coming through. Fairies, gnomes, again, it doesn't have to be fantastical, but if those are the symbols that come through that you interact with, the energies of the elements inevitably expressed as one we may be as well, having, water, earth, fire in the belly, digestive system, all that kind of good stuff. And I'm hearing that it's like we are all elements that have decided to communicate and coalesce and partner up, per se, to be an expression of such. Oh, I really don't know if that made any sense. I have pleasure, self-love, and will. Okay. Well, give me a moment to... Yep. 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 I'm going to put pleasure and Taurus together, the Taurus astrology scroll. This is making me feel as though by having by having these extra sensory perceptions, and I want to say in the most simplest way, like turning it on or off, having the boundaries, and enjoying the experience, because something else is being created, almost like when I shut off, like the remnants of my interactions with these other senses. It's like holographic. And then things like play out. And when I return and live it out, live certain things out, integrated into my earthly expressions of these elements and these experiences, or simply these sights as inspirations. It's to bring it into the human experience and have it be a pleasurable experience, less what's that bulldozery. But I don't know, bulldozery is the word that came through. Okay, so I'm going to move to Cancer in the Chariot, and then self-love and taking care of oneself to maintain.
Knock.
Yeah. To maintain the abundant beauty that is being human. The other realm that is, overlaid, you can call it spiritual realm, depending on which layer you decide to wander into. It is about loving the experience and loving that experience. And as the chariot moves between these realms, the human and the higher self, if I may, it's co-creating the spirit of the elements to whatever it decides to express itself as. And it's almost like I'm hearing you have permission to enjoy the process. You have permission to enjoy being turned off. We are October 23rd. Do you know what I mean? Like there might be some guilt around like detuning, or, turning down the dial and say, well, if I'm connected, I'm always connected. And there's some sort of reward for that. And maybe there is for you, and everyone's on or off. It's like, as I'm seeing that, thank you, that's what that is. In the Capricorn scroll, American Dad, how they have that on the fridge, there's the alert, right? And there are different threats maybe. And that's what I'm paying attention to. Yeah, everyone has it a little bit different. And each time is different. It's like there's a building upon each time, but that doesn't mean they accumulate in a linear fashion that would make sense for us. So sometimes it might seem to go off track, but really it's not off track. I don't know if that made sense either. There's permission to enjoy the process. And then when I come into the Capricorn scroll with will, interesting. When I said will, I just saw Stranger Things, the show. Is one of the boys named Will? Possibly. Yeah, I think so. Maybe that means something to somebody. Remember when I was talking about that shawl and needlepoint? And I feel like that's weaving or creating will. But it's multicolored. It's like the yarn, or maybe you're using fishing line that can glisten iridescence. Something along those lines, maybe. Or it has a glimmer and a shimmer. Yeah, that's what it is. That's part of it's like you're creating this so that, okay, so it's like seeing in this third eye realm that we're in. And when you step in and you open your gate, and it's a kaleidoscope, but not a kaleidoscope. It's more like a color corrector, but it's not correcting in the sense that anything's wrong. It's correcting in, what is that? When like a camera, I'm not a photographer, like, you know what I mean? Like it does focuses. It's finding the focus that you're choosing to step into in that moment. So maybe it is energetically or emotionally in your sensing. It's like suddenly now I can see the way a cat would see, and everything feels infrared. I don't even know if that's real, but you know what I mean? And then suddenly I'm seeing in a different, maybe from a different point of view, or my senses are heightened up. And it's like following that in this zoomy zoom of focusing, which is kind of like an eye tunnel. I guess it would be here. That's funny. And you're choosing as you're kind of meandering and wandering psychonaut style. That is fantastic. So it's kaleidoscope-esque, but it has a clarity. I feel like that makes sense. All right, I'm going to get ready to close out here, old souls. Thank you so much for being here, for being my muse, and for holding space for me to share my insights and my cozy. Like, look at my crazy hair. Oh, but I've been doing tapestries coming up soon, so it's been very exciting, and I'm choking out. Crazy. All right, closing out oracle messages for the old souls. All right, the more time we spend together, the more you're just gonna see. Just start coming in jammies. Just be like, hey, I'm here. Numerology, precision, tarot guidance, and geomancy. Patience. Patience, Iago. Patience. You're allowed to limit your time, and limit in a good way. It's that whole latch. So you know what, I've got 10 minutes. Maybe you go into a meditation, or maybe you're working, like maybe you work with tarot. Maybe you do work in numerology. And I feel like maybe we spoke about that. But maybe this is your primary as an example. And now you're also tuning into tarot. So again, the student master, and as you know, the old soul, young soul kind of concept. And it's like, as you might step in empathically, but then you're like, ooh, suddenly I'm seeing things in like numbers. And slowly you start to step forward to that a little bit more. The kaleidoscope, the focus happens. Yes, there's some sort of patience about that. And learning how to fine tune things. Something about diamonds has blatantly been coming through as well. Again, but I keep referring it back to like clear quartz or crystal quartz, something or other. And then vice versa. Maybe you're traditionally work with tarot, something comes through, or you traditionally use this. And you're like, ooh, and now I'm intrigued about that. It's like a new language that I'm going to lean into. but having the patience and also the permission to have fun learning it and not putting this stifling human kind of attribute on it of success or failure feels very clear to me. Like, kind of remove that. And not because it's so bad, but because whatever this is, as your experiences, journeys, your observance, in whichever form on the other side is, the bounty is for the human experience to be integrated in. So if you have been seeing a lot of numbers lately, or maybe you've been watching tarot readings or receiving guidance in spirit animals, perhaps you're noticing just the way people move around you and you're starting to see things in a play. Do you know what I'm saying? There's something along that lines, but you're noticing because that's the integration being inspired in and you receiving it because you've already been there. Maybe it was in a dream state, meditation. Oh my goodness, I hope this makes sense. And then you start walking it, and by acknowledging it is one step of the process in integrating it in. You don't need to be overwhelmed, and you're allowed to, because sometimes it can be absolutely overwhelming, but you have protection here. There's absolutely protection because that is just intelligent. It's intelligent. It's like having the samurai and the shepherd. The samurai. It's like having and being the sage and the mage. I'm going to try and remember that. The sage and the mage. Okay, one more. Thank you. All right. Now I'm really going to close out. I know I always say that and then I add on a few more cards, but it is what it is. Four of Pentacles, Knight of Cups.
Run away.
And once again, we have the Hierophant. Which is, yeah, so the Hierophants come in twice. I feel like that symbol really, really means something to somebody. Like something just went off and said, yes, yes. That energy, that position, whatever the Hierophant may mean to you. You have built something in this other landscape that is also your life, but it's meant to enhance your human experience. It's meant to enhance it. There's something very, very creative about it because it's like being in Wonderland. It doesn't all work the same way. But if everything was just duplicated in the same way, then it would be redundant. And inevitably, it would be a lot easier just to dismiss or disconnect from. For some. There's also something about cracking an egg and coming into your Four of Pentacles. Whatever that is for you, Four of Pentacles may mean something. But when I'm reading the art, it's as though I'm standing on the yoke of
Possessed.
with the white purity and clearing out any possessions that I'm holding on to. I get to clear that out. So it's like the human, when I wander through and unlatch and go through this personalized ornate gate, sage versus mage, not versus sage and the mage. And I step through bringing maybe human things, human thoughts. And when I say human, I mean like very material world concepts. And that's okay because when I get through and I walk through my own gate and I start to find what language I'm going to lean into, and sometimes it's my favorite one. So you're like, yeah, I like speaking empathy.
What is the date?
Empathically. It's just good. It's what I like. And that confidence will actually inspire a confidence to wander into maybe something else. Anywho. So as I'm like wandering through there, these human things begin to be worked out through that side actually by interacting. Because the focus isn't on me. Even though I bring like this luggage. Because I think, okay, so now it's like I'm seeing when like I'm getting ready to go somewhere and for some reason I feel the need to be the one to, have Tums in my purse, or I'm also going to bring a Band-Aid. Do we have extra water? Do I have, did you put a winter coat in the car in case the car breaks down? Like I'm that person. That's just my example. In case of, oh, what if I need a nail file all of a sudden? What if I need to be MacGyver at the middle of the corner store and somebody happens to need a safety pin? I want to be that person that has a safety pin. But that's what it feels like. So you bring all these things, like you pack your purse or you you pack your backpack and you can slowly unpack it
Innocent.
there. And it's okay. It's okay because you're not actually carrying them in the same way, which helps whatever one works through to bring it back to the human experience. So those things might be a little lighter, or they're left and not in a dismissal or not in a distaste and not in a haste, because that polarity power is so potent. It's like, no, that's not serving. They're simply going to like dissipate, and they're actually left to be of service, to help,
Donate.
to help survive and thrive. And really, through doing this, being wise like the sage and magic like the mage, you bring all of your potions together and you really get... Anyway, I'm not going to keep going here because I've already been yammering on for so long. But thank you so much for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you again, old souls.